Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a premiere video for the Tuesday album review for Season 5, Episode 13 is the one I'm doing for Avenged Sevenfold's second studio album. This is for a re-review because I know I reviewed Waking the Fallen like a few years ago, but it was on my camera phone at my old place mostly, so this is for the Waking the Fallen re-review for this Tuesday album review. I'm reviewing for you guys again. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 12 songs and what I think of it as of now in 2023, and let you know my thoughts on Avenged Sevenfold Waking the Fallen for their second studio album. So let's dive right into this album review, or this re-review, I meant to say. So it starts with the title track, Waking the Fallen. It's only an intro track. It's like a minute and 43 seconds, so it's not very long, but it does sound pretty good with how it's mixed and all that. And it starts off with M Shadows, maybe in like the first 50 seconds to a minute, starting to sing and all that, and it sounds pretty good with his vocals. Um, I think his vocals are better produced in this album, and he sounds really good vocally in this album. So I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Unholy Confessions is one of my favorite tracks. It is a classic Avenged Sevenfold song that I really enjoyed. So I'd give that a 5 out of 5. I like the drum work, guitar work. M Shadows' vocals sound really good. So I'm really enjoying his vocal range in this song too. So, and it screams some of the time. 5 out of 5. Chapter 4 is a pretty strong track. Really enjoyed how it sounds overall. And I highly recommend you listen to this track for how it sounds. So I think this album came out in 2003, but 2002, 2003, but I think it's about 20 years old now, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I think this year it is 20 years old. So I guess it marks the 20th anniversary for this album or something. So 5 out of 5 for Chapter 4. I just thought of it just a moment ago. I'm like, wait, didn't this album come out in 2003 or whatever? So Reminiscence is a pretty strong track. Really like it for how it sounds. It definitely rocks. M Shadows' vocals is probably the best thing about the track. So I really dig this track. 5 out of 5. Desecrate Through Reverence, I meant to say. I said revenance, my mistake. Reverence is what I meant to say. I think this is a strong track for how it sounds, and M Shadows' vocals sound really good in this track, and just the way the drum work and guitar work sound in this album, it's doing very well over me, in my opinion. So 5 out of 5. Eternal Rest is a pretty strong track too. I wasn't sure if I was on board with the beginning of the track, but it did pick up as the rest of the song went on, so I'd give it a 5 out of 5 too. It's another great track. It just took me a little bit to get used to the intro for the track, but it does progress in a better way as the rest of the song plays out. So yeah, 5 out of 5. Second Heartbeat was pretty lengthy song, but it did get the job done with how it sounds, and M Shadows' vocals is amazing in my opinion, and just the way it overall executes song-wise, it's really well done. So 5 out of 5. Radiant Eclipse is a great song. I really enjoyed this track, so I'd give this one a 5 out of 5 too. I'm personally loving the drum work from the Rev when he was with the band. May he rest in peace, of course. He will be missed. So I'd give this a 5 out of 5, and M Shadows' vocals sound really good, and just the guitar work is pretty amazing. I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 is a really outstanding song. I really like this track. For almost 9 minutes, you're in for quite an epic song. And M Shadows' vocals, he like ranges from high to another high, and it sounds really good in my opinion. So, and just basically the guitar work and drum work is amazing. So, 5 out of 5. I Won't See You Tonight Part 2 is the closing to the I Won't See You Tonight parts 1 and 2. So basically, it starts off with some weird hellish screams. Like, it sounds like the pits of hell is screaming and agony or whatever. I don't fucking know. That's how I view it when I listen to it. It was like weird, in my opinion, but it worked. This track definitely worked. M Shadows' screams were amazing, and his clean vocals sounded really good in this song. 5 out of 5. And guitar work and drum work was amazing. And we get to the last two songs, Clairvoyant Disease. I'm going to talk about the last song in just a moment. Clairvoyant Disease was mellow, but it did get the job done with how it sounds for 5 minutes. So really like the second to last song for the album, 5 out of 5. And all things will end is a solid track. There were some mixing issues with the ending to this track and just the way how it closes out the whole album. It's kind of odd, and I don't know if it worked, but I think it's a good track. It just has some mixing issues with how it's produced instrumentally and drum-wise and all that. I think mostly mixing-wise it was hit or miss, so basically, I think it's a good track in its own way. It's just going to decrease the rating a little bit, but not to the point where it's a terrible album. So, 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Avenged Sevenfold Waking the Fallen for this re-review, for the Tuesday album review that I wanted to review again. I think this was a really outstanding album. One of my favorite Avenged Sevenfold albums, in my opinion. Even though their newest stuff is not really for me because they've kind of sold out, in my opinion, to like more mainstream metal stuff or whatever the fuck they go for nowadays. I think with what they did with this album, I think it worked. And it sounded really good. So, and M Shadows' vocals were amazing in this album. Better than the first album, in my honest opinion. The debut album wasn't great, but it was meh. So for a score for me, I'm giving Waking the Fallen, their 2003 album, by Avenged Sevenfold for this Tuesday album review. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Really great album. Highly recommend you check this album out if you haven't listened to Avenged Sevenfold's second album, Waking the Fallen. I know it's 20 years old now, but it's a very outstanding album. One of my favorites in their discography. So 9.5 out of 10 for Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen for this re-review. Thank you guys for watching this Tuesday album review for the re-review for Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen.